The Philippine Foreign Affairs Department has ordered its posts in the United States to study how undocumented Filipinos there can benefit from President Obama's immigration overhaul. In New York, the Philippine consulate plans a town hall meeting to discuss the matter with the Filipino community. Don Tagala tells us more.
I've been pledging allegiance to this flag that does not recognize me and that does not recognize us. And tonight I think we're going to get closer to that by the action of this president.
The most popular and most visible undocumented Filipino in America will soon have temporary legal status and a work permit. Jose Antonio Vargas is one of the estimated 5 million undocumented immigrants who will directly benefit from President Obama's executive action laid out Thursday night. Obama's administrative relief will allow qualified undocumented immigrants the chance to stay temporarily in the U.S. for 3 years, provided they pass background checks and pay back taxes.
This is not amnesty. You hear so many people, particularly in the Republican Party, say that it's an amnesty. No, it's not. It's temporary. It's only temporary. It doesn't provide a green card. It doesn't provide citizenship. It doesn't provide health care. It doesn't provide anything, really, except free from deportation, a work permit. People can drive. People can travel, hopefully. And again, just not to live in fear.
Previously, Vargas didn't make the cut for Obama's initial DACA or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program because he was over the age limit of 30 years old. But he is now eligible under the new expanded program. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is expanding DACA so that people like Vargas, who were brought into the U.S. as children, can apply if they enter the U.S. before January 1, 2010, regardless of how old they are today. DACA relief is good for 3 years. Vargas says he looks forward to seeing his mother, whom he hasn't seen in 21 years.
This could happen and I could, go to the Philippines and see my mom. I got to tell you, I fantasize about that. I fantasize about getting in a plane and going to the Philippines and thinking what would happen. I don't even know what would happen to me.
Jose Antonio Vargas, finally, President Obama recognized you. You are an American. Filipino, but an American.
Vargas joined civil rights leaders such as Reverend Al Sharpton in Washington, D.C. Thursday afternoon to welcome Obama's executive action on immigration, even hours before the president's primetime speech.
Today is a day of victory for the American people. And I've said to them on the other side of this question, pass a bill, but while you are deliberating, the president is acting, and activists are with the president.
Meanwhile, Consul General Mario De Leon says the Philippine consulate in New York is planning to host a town hall meeting to educate the Filipino community on the president's action.
When you come out with executive order, you have to translate it into implementing guidelines. No, we want to know, how is the procedure, and at the same time, how long does it take, right? And who are eligible, right? So in other words, you have to answer a lot of questions first. And if they fall into that, then we could provide guidance from there.
Vargas hopes the U.S. Congress would eventually pass immigration laws.
If this doesn't jumpstart, legislation on immigration, I don't know what will, right? And, this president has been criticized a lot, and rightfully so, for the deportation and detention policy. But we're glad that he's making this one big move, although not everybody is going to be impacted.
Don Tagala, ABS-CBN News, Washington, D.C.